to the screen, to the ring, to the pin, to the king, or whatever the song Thick of It is about. Today we are talking about KSI, and he's in headlines once again. He's typically in headlines for his many different escapades. He does a lot of different things. He's very multifaceted, but his most recent endeavor is putting him in hot water with his own fan base and with his friends and family. So we're going to talk about it today. Of course, that's the only thing we ever talk about from a media perspective. What's going wrong? How can you avoid the pitfalls that he's falling into? So today, of course, go ahead and make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications. First of all, I am Dason. I'm a media creative. I've been doing this for 4 years plus. I teach other people to see the vision, and I help creatives to grow their vision. I offer one-on-one coaching if you're interested in that, if you're trying to do anything public, or if you're trying to start a public business or anything media-facing, I'm your guy, okay? Because I don't know what it is with these celebrities. They're always so confused. Well, what did I do wrong? Why am I facing so much public backlash? It's really not that hard. It's really not that hard. So I like to do a breakdown on it today on KSI. I mean, and just to clarify really quickly, this is very easy for other people to do. A lot of the reviews that I'm seeing so far on YouTube is they're just reacting to somebody else's video, but nobody really gives their own opinion. I've been doing media for 4 or 5 years, so I know exactly what it means to be a public figure on a small scale. I don't have a whole bunch of followers, but I know what it means to be a public figure on a very small scale. And then as a media creative, I know what it means to put your image out in front of other people, how you can control that image and the decisions you make, how it affects your image. So I don't really know why celebrities have such a hard time figuring out why the decisions they do don't sit well with people or why they do. But on this channel, I like to try to break it down, not just from my opinion, but from what the public is saying. Because the easiest way to align yourself with the public is to just listen to what they're saying, right? So let's get into it. So first of all, for those of you who don't know who KSI is, he's a very, very popular YouTuber. He belonged to this group called the Sidemen. And I'm not too familiar with this, so I had to do a whole bunch of research on this, but he belonged to this group called the Sidemen. That's really where he not really got his start, but he's very popular for his personality. He did a lot of streaming and all that other stuff. So the group called the Sidemen is a group of British YouTubers and public figures. They got started around 2013. So they've been doing this for a little over a decade now. And KSI, he was alongside doing that group and a bunch of YouTube different things with that group. He started building his own personal image, his own personal brand. That group mostly centered around friendship and chemistry, and most people liked them because they were just a relatable group of friends, and it was almost like a brotherhood. Well, in May of 2026, KSI left the Sidemen, and it appeared to be a very quick, hasty decision. And this group has been together for 13 years, just like any other group, like One Direction or Destiny's Child or whatever. Whenever something happens to break up the group, it's going to be a big stir. Well, the way that KSI did it has a lot of people talking. It seemingly was abrupt. Nobody knew it was going to happen, supposedly, and the entire thing that KSI made around it has a lot of people on edge. So we have 3 reasons that we're going to talk about today why people aren't sitting well with KSI anymore, because this, along with other controversies that he's been in, it's been a slow buildup as to why his fans are turning on him, okay? So we're going to talk about it today. The very first reason, because just leaving the group itself isn't going to make people leave you. When you start to alienate your fan base, when your fans no longer want to mess with you, you know that something has changed. So we're going to talk about it. So the first reason for me that his fans are starting to leave him is because KSI was really already losing respect with his audience before even leaving the Sidemen. He had been involved with 2 controversies beforehand, and we'll talk about it. So the first one was Lunchly. I have an article here for the people that have never heard about Lunchly. Just to give you a basic overview, Lunchly is like Lunchables. It's like a knockoff of Lunchables. The only difference was this is a creator-made Lunchable. And to put it in basic terms, it was crap. It was bad. Like the quality of the food wasn't good. The branding was, focused toward children, and it was involved in a lot of heat because it was molding. Like the food itself was molding. Like we have I've never heard of Dexterra before, but there was a couple creators that did a whole bunch of testing on these Lunchly packets, and they did unboxings and stuff, and they were finding at the time of writing, neither Lunchly, Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, or KSI have ever responded to the situation regarding moldy cheese allegedly being found inside. Now, they're saying allegedly, But a lot of these unboxings, I don't know if you can see this picture here, this video here. I'm not going to play it. They were finding mold inside. So apparently their standards for, shipping it or whatever, wasn't up to par. Another reason that it was not received well was because it was in collaboration with very corporate feeling YouTubers. So Mr. Beast and Logan Paul, they had already been pushing out their own brands that were primarily marketed toward children, where they were pushing unhealthy foods like Prime and Feastables. So now KSI is going to join in because KSI was already joined in on Prime. People already were on edge. Why are you selling my kids something that's unhealthy, right? So now they're joining in. They're making this horrible trifecta, selling unhealthy, moldy food to children. And the way that they handled it was not fun. They started going on like this podcast tour where they basically were talking. They were very immature about it. I had a video pulled up, but I don't really know if I want to play it. Here, I'll play just part of it for you.
Who's that one lady that does the foods, where she does food reviews?
Rosanna Parksano.
Yeah, that one. I would like to go head to head with her in a combat sports arena.
Okay, I'm not even gonna play it. This is how they, one of the ways that they chose to address the moldy food situation. You're selling moldy food to our children. You're selling unhealthy food to our children. And one of the ways that you respond to it is by means of a podcast. And you're talking about one of the people that is exposing you. You're talking about going in a head-to-head combat with her. They didn't shut her down. Later, I'm going to skip just a little bit farther past. Very immature, this is the way that they handled all of it. Hold on.
Really?
Yeah.
Which do you just
Not anymore, but yeah. But I mean, yeah, she can do her thing, man. Let her do her thing.
Like I like my cheese moldy, bro.
yo?
When she saw that, she must have been jumping,
Bro.
She must have been like,
Yes! So, bro.
I don't have time to play the full clip. I really don't have, because it's very infuriating. Because how can you hear people being vocally upset and you just kind of chalk it all down to just being a little bit of controversy? Oh, it's just a little bit of YouTube drama. This isn't YouTube drama. People have legitimate concerns about what you're giving to their children. So just basically what you can see from that clip so far, very immature, the way that they handle it. So that's the first controversy. That one was more serious than what came to follow. The next little escapade that KSI got involved with was, he's always been into music. Let me switch it back to just me. He's always been into music. He's always been an artist. Then he decided to make a song called Thick of It. And everybody really should know about this song because this controversy isn't really his fault, but it's just the fact that the song was cringe. The public viewed it as very cringe, So this is just stacking to the fact that he's losing respect among his peers and then among, his followers. So I'm going to play you a little bit of the song, right? Hold on. It's not funny.
I went from living room to sold out doors. Life's fire, trust I'm ready for the war. Whoa, this is how the story goes. Whoa, I guess.
Okay, just before he's doing a pitch to Prime in his music video. Prime is another one of those unhealthy, not good YouTuber focused products that they're pitching toward kids, and he does it in his music video. Look at the reaction. Okay, of course it's an exaggerated response. I don't know who this gentleman I've seen him before, but look, when you start putting out a corporate feeling persona, the brands you're pitching are very corporate. They feel very cold. They don't care about the people that they're putting out to, and you're pitching it to our children. And then you make a music video about your success and how you're basically the greatest thing and all that other stuff. And now you have your peers laughing at. I think I know this guy. What's his name? It's toward the end of the. What's his name? It's towards the end of the video that they put it in. Let me see. No, I thought they did. I thought they put his name in. I know, but one of his peers, when you have them laughing at you, you're losing respect. Okay, so if you've been involved in a couple controversies where you're losing the respect of your peers and from your audience, do you think it would be the time to make an abrupt change in your public-facing persona? This is a question to answer, like a Blue's Clues question. What do you think? Do you think it's time to make a big public change? That was dumb, Derek. No, okay? So that's the first reason. KSI was already losing respect. The second reason is that KSI's literal, quick, abrupt, sudden departure from the Sidemen, it damaged his brand of loyalty that he had been building over a decade. Loyalty, brotherhood, it basically damaged the way that people saw him, okay? So, and let's take a look at this video that I pulled up here.
You may have seen the news that has just been dropped. I didn't know that video was going out now, so.
That is one of the Sidemen people. I guess one of the main characters of the Sidemen. Before we let this video finish playing out, one of the things that he said was, I didn't know that video was going out now. A lot of people in the comments have mentioned they probably knew that it was coming, but they just didn't know when he was going to put the video out. KSI later said in some statements that he had been planning this decision for months. This was a departure that he'd been planning for months. A lot of people in the comment section feel that it's convenient, though, that his departure is right after his channel started getting more views. After he had the best viewed video on his platform or something to that effect. After he experienced a lot of success, that's when he decided to abruptly leave. Well, he said he'd been planning it for months. If that was the case, would it not be in the interests of brotherhood and loyalty, this family that you've been building for 13 years, to let them know when you're going to be leaving? If you say that you're brothers, you say you've been loyal to this group for 13 years, you've been building this friendship, this family bond, and they're surprised by your departure, it's not a good look. It makes you look like a butthole, okay? So just keep in mind for this second point, his sudden leave, it's throwing people off of, it's throwing it off from who he's portrayed himself to be, a very loyal brotherhood kind of person over the past 13 years with this group. But we'll let it keep going.
Dropped. I didn't know that video was going out now, so.
I'm trying to compete with him, bro. With Jimmy. You're saying face on camera right now.
Yeah, but I mentioned the Sidemen boys. I'm gonna get more subscribers than Sidemen. And I'm also gonna get more views than Sidemen.
This is your brothers. This is your family. This is you've been building a brand with them for 13 plus years. Something like this should have never been said. I don't care if it's right after. I don't care if it's 3 years removed. Something like this should have never been said, because if these are the people that you grew with, we don't talk about growing past them. You understand what I'm saying? It shows that you are no longer, it makes people feel like you're no longer the same person. We're going to keep it going, though.
I'm looking at speed now. I need to try and get more views than speed. Yeah. And I need to get more.
You're on smoke.
Yeah. And then after speed, who's next?
Yeah.
Until I get to Jimmy. Me and Jimmy going back to back.
I told the boys that I'm going to overtake them in views and subs eventually. I've overtaken them in views last one. No, as the group.
Oh, you're outperforming the Sidemen channel?
I'm outperforming the Sidemen channel, yeah. Those groups or all groups, there's always like a Harry style in one direction or...
Do I really have to do a deep dive on this? I just want to ask that. Do I really have to do a deep dive on this? Are we for real? Are we for real? For those of you who aren't into the story, who don't know about the Sidemen like me, let's put it down in layman terms, right? Pop group. Any kind of pop group. They grew together. You are mainly famous because of that group, okay? You've been building out your own personal brand. You grew together. A majority of the views that you have, or some of them, came from the fact that, we saw him with this group. Now we want to see what some of his other personal projects are. And you've been doing this for over a decade. I've only been alive for 7 years longer than this group has been started. I'm 20, and they've been doing this for 13 years. So you've been doing this for 13 years. And then when you leave, you decide to go, I'm going to be better than y'all. First of all, you're going to leave abruptly. And you go, I'm going to be better than y'all. I'm going to get more views than y'all. I'm going to get more subscribers than y'all. Y'all were holding me back. Bro, you wonder why your fans are leaving you. Because this entire group was supposed to feel like a family. This is you not just leaving your family, you're kicking dust in their face. Basically, I wish you could see my feet. I'm just kicking underneath the desk. You're saying I'm better than you. I don't need you guys. I don't understand it. From a PR, I don't know if he has a public relations manager. From a PR perspective, first of all, this is a major communication issue. If you're saying that you've been planning this for months and then you leave very quickly and then this is what you leave with, somebody on your PR team needs to be fired. This kind of just bleeds into my third point. Basically that KSI oversold his departure. Like, he talked about it too much. Let me change that. The third point is he talked too much. He talked too much, and then what he talked about was alienating. What he talked about was offensive, I would even say, to his brand. It was damaging to his brand. You know, when you have people that go on podcasts and they don't know how to control their tongue, and they say what they really feel on the inside. I mean, because let's be honest, all of us have feelings. You know, all of us have somebody maybe mentally that we're competing with. We have people who motivate us to do better, people we can't stand. We have these, I don't even want to say dark, but maybe sometimes negative motivators. Sometimes we want to grow past somebody else. Sometimes we want to do better than somebody else. We're competing with them in our heads. But you don't say that aloud. You don't talk about it aloud. You don't talk. Here, watch this.
Let me just elaborate as to why I strongly believe that KSI leaving the Sidemen the way he did was not only selfish, but just a huge, blatant money grab. Money has changed the great knowledge, strength, and integrity. Now, nobody is saying he can't leave the Sidemen. He has every right to leave. You know, he's not bound to it till the day he dies and drops over. No, he can leave when he wants. But it's the hypocrisy in the reason he gave his fans and the other members of the Sidemen to him leaving. He said that he came to the realization of all the time and energy put into the Sidemen to the point where he neglected his family, his missus. Like, he came across as such a family-orientated man. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave the Sidemen, get some extra time, and with this extra time, I'm gonna use it with my family. But no, let's see what he actually wants to do with that time. Let's see what he actually plans to do with the time.
Before she says anything else, that was his brand. Very family-oriented man, and I'll show you proof of that. Very family-oriented man, very level-headed, very kind individual. And as we've already seen, first of all, the way you left does not indicate a family-oriented individual. But then let's see what she's talking about, what he's going to do with his time. Because I was unaware of that first part, that he said that's, and I can't verify that, but let's see what he chose to do with his time.
Compete with Mr. Beast. Yeah. He gets about 4 billion every month in shorts and about 600 million long form. I mentioned the Sidemen boys. I'm going to get more subscribers than Sidemen. And I'm also going to get more views. I got more views than Sidemen in a month. So now I just need to get more subscribers. And then it's like, all right, cool. I'm just going to Speed now. I need to try and get more views than Speed. And I need to get more. And then after Speed, who's next? Until I get to Jimmy.
As you just saw, KSI wants to climb the ranks. He's got a legacy tattoo for a reason. He is not happy with what he has. He needs more. He must be the best of the best. And that's the ego kicking in. That's the big-headedness kicking in. No pun intended, because it's getting ridiculous. You want to surpass the Sidemen. Your boys, your day ones, you want to surpass them. You then want to surpass Speed. And now you're moving on to Mr. Beast. Like, I'm all here for optimism, but you're getting greedy. It's getting greedy. That's why I say it's selfish and it's a money grab, and he's trying to cover it up with family time.
I agree.
Straight BS. Let's list what he's got currently just to end this off. Prime, boxing, his music, personal channel, had the Sidemen, Britain's Got Talent. The list goes on, and it's getting to a point where you just have to be honest with yourself. You want to leave the Sidemen in the dust. They'll only take you to certain levels, and you want to surpass them, make a name for yourself, and fulfill that legacy tattoo. And it's okay, just be honest with yourself. Don't come up here thinking that the Sidemen drains all your family time, you have bad relationship with your parents and whatever because of... Stop it.
She's right. I heard that. Where the lie at? Not a single lie. Do me a favor, please subscribe and like. You know, I ain't got no sponsors in here. I don't know if you can tell. And I think we're at 800 subscribers here. Go ahead and drop me a subscribe, please. And then also on my Instagram, we are almost to 200K on Instagram. So go ahead and follow me on Instagram too. I've linked that in the bio. But there was not a single lie that she told. And you could tell she's frustrated too. I'm not a fan, but she's a fan. You can tell. She's frustrated is what it seems like from the sheer separation from his brand, okay? And remember, your brand is, when you're a public figure, this is lesson number 132. When you're a public figure, if you are a public figure, your brand is you, okay? So like, let's think about like an actual product or something, because you're the product, right? So an actual product like Dr. Squatch, right? Dr. Squatch is very focused on masculine men and their drive towards women, and so all their ads are always focused on masculinity and an affectation to, I don't know, very feminine women. I don't know. I mean, I don't know other way to explain it. You look at their campaigns and you can tell me. So imagine if they started doing a push to children's content. Oh, we wouldn't know what to do. I don't use Dr. Squatch. I just use whatever soap is cheapest. But you're just whatever's cheapest. Imagine if they started doing a push toward, just, I don't know, children. Something that didn't align with their brand. People would get freaked out. They wouldn't want to do it. When you're a public figure, you are your brand, okay? So if you as a person appear to be a very loyal, friendship-based, down-to-earth, not egotistical, not seeking great things for yourself kind of person, and then all of a sudden you start making moves that show otherwise, moves that indicate that you're tired of being a family man, and then you start talking about how you're seeking greater things for yourself. You want to be better than your family, your brothers that built you up and all that other stuff. What are people going to do? They're going to leave you. Nobody signed up for children's content from Dr. Squatch, okay? Nobody's going to sign up for egotistical content from KSI. You're going to alienate your fan base here. And another thing that I want to mention here, in the video, he was talking about he wants to compete with Mr. Beast and Speed. That's a turnoff for me. This is my personal opinion. Never state who you're competing with, because this never, like, if you're starting a creative business or something and you have competition in this business, let me bring it back to just me. Never state who your competition is. And if you do state who your competition is, always speak about them in a positive manner, because you never know, one day there may be a point when either they're not your competition or you might need them. So now you've created this big public facing argument that you're going to do better than them. You're going to do. Why would they want to work with you in the future? You're making things harder for yourself. Try to build things on good faith, first of all. I mean, that's just first. Okay, let's watch this next video.
I feel like they're performing better without me.
Bro, you left. They went, did America trip. They're killing it.
I wonder if anyone's still thinking nah, when's this for?
Oh my God.
I have people in my apartment building stopping me from getting a lift, like, can you tell me to change?
I was at the pub up north, did you actually leave? I was like, yeah.
Anywhere.
It's not funny. It's not funny. I don't know. Everybody's laughing like this is some kind of game. This is embarrassing. You left your boys, and at a certain, I don't know if it's still this way, but his boys were doing better than him. Like after he left, some of their video, it took a while had a dip, but then they went straight back up. This is embarrassing, man. And it wouldn't be as embarrassing if you hadn't done all this talk that you were gonna be doing better than this. You understand what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been nearly as bad if you would have just chilled out. We'll talk about what the exact method that he should have done.
It's not even that deep. It's not even that deep. Okay. I've lost millions of subscribers in my...
So, just for context, this is a clip. He's talking to another YouTuber. I'm assuming this is from 2019. This first clip, and this is how he felt in 2019, and now we're going to compare it to 2026.
My time, and I'm losing subscribers right now. In my whole YouTubing career, I have lost 7.6 million subscribers, Didge. Come on, man. So from all of this, it's clear that you do care about subscribers. Otherwise, you wouldn't bring it up. End of the day, it's your content that makes people interested in you. If we put up bad content, eventually people aren't going to care about it anymore. Subscribers don't affect your livelihood, Didge. It affects your ego. For someone that doesn't care about numbers and subscribers, you seem very aware of the fact that you have been on 9.7 million subscribers for 6 months. I mean, how can I blame you for caring about numbers when I used to do the exact same thing? I used to be obsessed with how many subscribers I had, how many views I got on my videos, etc. I wasn't making videos for me anymore, and that's why I left in 2017. So after my break, I made sure I never focused on numbers ever again, and instead did everything for me. You just happened to bring this up out at a time when you were losing subscribers and your views were down. Everyone knows how badly you want to hit 10 million subscribers, to the point of you even faking getting the 10 million subscriber plan. Yeah, if this is how you want to do it, then I guess fine. I told.
So, and this is maybe not an opinion that you've heard before, but when he said, I used to be so obsessed about it, it's either, you know, what most people would say, that he had this period of time where he really was just focused on the content, or he never changed. And my opinion is that he never changed. He was just able to hide how he really felt. Even the fact, like, people only talk about typically what they are affected by. You can even use this with me, okay? Like, I am very, very concerned about how I'm perceived by the public. I'm very, very concerned about media attention and how I can come across to other people and what that looks like, which is why I'm able to so freely talk about it and discuss it with other people. I know what it looks like. You know, and it's very evident with KSI, at least in my opinion. He never did change. You know, the fact that he's able to bring this up and point it out on somebody else, you never really change, man. And it's just kind of glaring now in 2026 that now the mask has come off is basically what you're seeing. You know, he said that he used to be concerned about subscriber count. He used to be concerned about all that stuff. He must have went through this period where he decided that it was best to mask that, so that he could keep up with his image. And then now something happened. Mask is down. This is how he really feels. We'll keep watching.
I'm going to overtake them in views and subs eventually. And
how many? I mean, who does that?
I have overtaken them in views last month. No, as the group.
Oh, you're outperforming the Sidemen channel.
I'm outperforming the Sidemen channel, yeah. Oh, no, we don't need clout.
And turn the Sidemen into the Sidemen.
What?
For real.
but that's with every artist.
To the ring.
Okay, yeah, but it's, all right, 129 million.
Picking with the song. Yeah, see, again.
Views.
All right, fucking
on YouTube.
Wow.
And 100+ million streams.
Yeah.
Bro, it's done well.
Right.
And every time I perform it, it goes off.
Someone's taking the criticism well. It's a good song.
It is. It is.
You know, people can't forget. This is probably just another indicator. People can't forget. You do stuff, you know, that makes you lose respect. Every single person, and this is my person, every single person that he's podcasted with after leaving the Sidemen, from what I've seen, none of them respect him. They're as a joke almost. Okay, because you got to keep in mind, please keep in mind everything that I said from the start. Number one, you lost respect from people from the Lunchley situation, and then when people turned your song into a joke, and then you continue to, like, people were laughing at you about your song, you lost respect. So then now you do something that people don't like, okay? You run from your friends, and then you talk bad about them on the side. You're going to keep losing respect, and now you're not just going to lose respect, you're going to lose your audience. So that was indicative. You know, they're here to talk about whatever they're talking about, and somebody brings up his song that they're making fun of. Your entire brand is crumbling before your feet, and you're laughing with the people like it's funny.
It's not even that deep.
Most groups or all groups, there's always like a Harry Styles, or, you know, in One Direction, or a Beyonce in Destiny's Child. You could argue that I am that of the Sidemen.
Visually, outside looking in.
They don't talk about it though. They don't say these things aloud. KSI just gives me the idea, like that guy, like if slow music plays, and I know because I do this, right? But like if slow music, excuse my pants, and he's just like whenever a song plays, he's just like dancing to the edit, and he's like, I would be the greatest guy in the world. Ah! And then he's like dancing to music, and it's just cringe. You know what I'm saying? Like I imagine he makes fake edits of himself and then records it and then puts it like in some like kind of folder, and he would be the guy probably to post it. Or he probably makes edits of himself and then puts them out there on the internet and then rewatches it over and over and over again. That's the vibe that you give when you talk about yourself being the Beyonce or Harry Styles, even in group. They don't talk about this. They don't say, you know, Beyonce, Harry Styles will go, yeah, I'm the Beyonce of my time. You know, it's just time for me to leave. It is implied through the work. So if you left and did your work, that's for other people to say about you. It's not for you to say about yourself. Let's keep watching.
When you think about the Sidemen, it'll always be KSI.
But that's just because, you know, I've done more things.
Okay, and y'all grew together. care. I just,
I'm trying to compete with Jimmy, Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
And he's on 4 billion every month in shorts and about 600 million long form.
Gone are the days where people would just make videos for fun. Now I'm talking about people making videos for monetary gain.
Yeah, but I mentioned the Sidemen boys, I'm gonna get more subscribers than Sidemen. And I'm also gonna get more views than Sidemen.
Having to always keep up with these trends and
Simple. I'm gonna give you the full rundown really quickly. This is what I would do if I were KSI. Okay, and this is, take notes here, people. KSI, you should hire me. I offer one-on-one coaching on my website. Okay, if you're an individual, it's only $65 a month for my one-on-one coaching. Okay, so you should consider that, KSI. You should go ahead and hire me, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. If you were interested in leaving the Sidemen to start a brand that could potentially compete with Mr. Beast, this is what I would do if I were you. I would alert my boys, the Sidemen, that I'm going to be leaving, and I would make it an amicable leave. Instead of just abruptly leaving, not letting them know when I'm dropping the video. I don't know what, because I feel like some kind of altercation had to happen, or maybe something behind the scenes for you, somebody to do something like that. I would make it an amicable leave. We're all going to have a goodbye video to KSI. So that way I can still be featured as a guest, and I can also, because it's a nice clean break, some of the boys from the Sidemen can come into my new project and my new endeavor. So a nice clean break so that I can continue to use them as a resource. That's first. Second of all, I'm not going to do a straight jump into a PR tour where I basically dog on my friends and I also dog on my competitors and say I'm going to be better than them and I'm the, the Destiny's Child Beyonce and I'm the Harry Styles of Wonder. I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep silent. Shh. We're going to take a break from the public eye just for a little bit, just for like maybe a month or 2 months. And my transition in my content is going to slowly start changing. I'm going to look back through my content. I'm going to find what are my most viral videos and what does my fan base like, okay? Because you're trying to start a completely new project and you're leaving your fan base out. So you're going to go, what are my most viral videos? What did I originally get viral for? You're going to put it all on a list. And what does my fan base like about me? And that's how you're going to start formulating your content. You're going to put that on a list and you're going to look at what are my competitors doing and what's an idea that I can do that's like my competitors, but also incorporates all of this and make it my own. Not corporatized, not Mr. Beastified, not in competition with. The reason that Mr. Beast and Speed do so well is because they are uniquely their own style of content, okay? Mr. Beast and Speed started their own things, their own styles of content, and they're very successful because it is theirs. We can recognize, they're not basing it off of a pattern from somebody else. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mr. Beast is his own entity. Speed is his own entity. Why would you think you're going to be bigger than them when you're copying their entity? You need to make your own, and you have a serious asset in your fan base. I mean, push come to shove, you could even ask them what they would want to see and just grow it and grow it. So you're not going to go on a press tour and you're not going to talk bad about your friends or your competition. You're going to do your own thing. You're going to stay silent and just up what you're doing. I don't understand why this would be so difficult. Any product that you push out needs to be your own. It's not going to be corporatized. Anytime you go on a press tour or you go on a podcast or something like that, you're only going to speak positive things. And for me personally, I wouldn't even change my content too much. I would just up the amount of content that I'm doing. But that would be what I would do. You didn't give your fans any kind of transition period. It just looked like a communication problem. And then the content that you're putting out now, a lot of people are saying you left the Sidemen for this. It's just a really bad branding and image issue. Okay? That's my personal opinion. I was going to make another statement about, his music and his other stuff. I'm going to try to leave that out of it because that wouldn't go very well. I mean, then we would get into picking, and I don't want to nitpick. But basically, that's just the overlay for me. I understand why it's so difficult for people to understand where the deviation starts happening. It's very simple to look at. You just have to listen to what your fans are saying. It's so simple. So for anybody that is looking to grow a personal brand, or you're in the media space and you want to learn how to handle controversy or whatever, a lot of the controversy that people deal with can be avoided just by paying attention. If we just took 10 seconds to pause, think before you do things, and look at what your fan base is talking about, you really can avoid alienating them, okay? So that's my personal take. Thank you so much for watching. You know, I do these very often. Please make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, because I do this quite often, and I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. All right, bye-bye.